The diplomatic crisis ambassador, Elena Vasquez, stood before the massive viewing port of Meridian Station, watching the swirling nebula that marked the edge of human space. The diplomatic outpost had been her home for 5 years, serving as humanity's primary liaison with the Interstellar Collective Council. Tonight, however, the usual beauty of the cosmic vista couldn't calm her growing unease. Her aide, Commander Marcus Chen, approached with a datapad clutched tightly in his hands. His usually calm demeanor was cracked with obvious stress. "Ambassador, we've received a priority transmission from Council Arbiter Veltar. The tone... it's not good." Elena turned from the viewport, her dark eyes reflecting years of diplomatic experience. She had handled countless crises during her tenure, from trade disputes to territorial negotiations, but Marcus's expression suggested something far more serious. "Play the message." The holographic projector activated, revealing the imposing figure of Veltar, the Council's primary arbitrator. The Zenthari was a being of crystalline beauty, his translucent blue form pulsing with internal light that indicated deep emotional disturbance. When a Zenthari's natural luminescence flickered this intensely, it meant the situation was grave. Ambassador Vasquez Veltar's voice carried the harmonic resonance typical of his species, but the usual melodic quality was sharp with accusation. "I address you on behalf of the Interstellar Collective Council regarding a matter of utmost urgency over the past standard year. 5 separate species have reported complete disappearances of their vessels within or near human territorial boundaries." Elena felt her stomach drop. 5 disappearances. Her diplomatic channels had received no reports of any incidents involving alien vessels in human space. Every month, she filed comprehensive reports with Earth's diplomatic corps, and every month, those reports indicated peaceful, incident-free borders. "The first incident," Veltar continued, "involved the Altarian survey ship Windseeker, conducting routine stellar cartography near your Proxima Centauri system. 17 scientists and crew members vanished without any distress signal or debris. Field, the Altarian Science Collective demands answers." Marcus pulled up the Proxima system files on his tablet. His frown deepened as he scanned the data. "Ambassador, our records show no contact with Altarian vessels in the past year. All border patrols reported standard operations." The second incident, the holographic Veltar continued, involved a Thessarian diplomatic courier attempting to deliver trade proposals to your outer colonies. The ship Peaceful Dawn disappeared while approaching the Wolf 359 system. The Thessarian Trade Federation considers this a grave insult to diplomatic immunity. Elena's mind raced. Thessarian diplomats were meticulous about proper channels and protocols. If they had attempted contact, there should have been extensive records and communications. The absence of any such documentation was deeply troubling. The third, fourth, and fifth incidents involved vessels from the hegemony of Nyx, the Crystalline Syndicate, and the nomadic fleet of the Star Wanderers. In each case, ships entering human space or its immediate vicinity have simply vanished. Without trace, no distress calls, no debris, no survivors, nothing. Veltar's crystalline form pulsed brighter, indicating rising emotional intensity. "Ambassador, the Council finds this pattern deeply disturbing. 5 separate species, 5 missing expeditions, all in proximity to human territory. The coincidence is statistically impossible." Elena exchanged glances with Marcus. The implications were staggering. If 5 alien vessels had indeed disappeared near human space, and there were no official records of contact, it meant either a massive cover-up or something far more sinister? The Interstellar Collective Council hereby demands a full explanation of these incidents within 14 standard days. If satisfactory answers are not provided, humanity will face complete diplomatic isolation from the galactic community. All trade agreements will be suspended, all technological exchanges terminated, and human vessels will be banned from neutral space. The threat hit Alina like a physical blow. Humanity depended on galactic trade for crucial resources and technologies. Isolation would cripple human expansion efforts and potentially set their civilization back decades. Furthermore, Velta added, his form now blazing with intense light, the Council is particularly concerned by the complete absence of any evidence from these disappearances. Such thorough elimination of traces suggests either advanced technology or deliberate cover-up activities. We expect transparency and full cooperation in this investigation. The transmission ended, leaving Alina and Marcus in heavy silence. The implications were clear. The galactic community suspected humanity of something far worse than simple territorial disputes. "Get me a secure channel to Earth immediately," Alina ordered. "Priority Alpha classification. This goes directly to Admiral Torres at Defense Ministry Command." While Marcus worked to establish the encrypted connection, Alina reviewed what she knew about human defensive protocols. The outer territories were protected by a combination of patrol fleets, early warning systems, and automated defense platforms. These systems were designed to intercept and evaluate potential threats. But they shouldn't be eliminating entire vessels without any record or communication. The secure channel activated, revealing Admiral Carlos Torres in his office at Defense Ministry headquarters on Earth. The grizzled veteran looked tired, his weathered face showing the strain of managing humanity's military operations across dozens of star systems. "Ambassador Vasquez, I've been expecting your call. We received a similar message from the Council about an hour ago through our military channels." "Admiral, what the hell is going on? 5 alien vessels have disappeared near our territory, and I have no record of any contact or incidents. Are we covering up first contact situations?" Torres was quiet for a long moment, his expression growing grim. "Alina, what I'm about to tell you is classified at the highest levels of government. The disappearances did occur, and they were handled according to our established defensive protocols." "What protocols?" "I'm the primary diplomatic liaison with the galactic community. I should know about any protocols involving alien contact." "The Perimeter Protocol," Torres said quietly, "established 15 years ago after the Magellan incident. You remember what happened when the Magellan colony tried to negotiate with that raider fleet?" Alina remembered. The Magellan colony had attempted diplomatic contact with what they thought was an exploration fleet. Instead, they had encountered slavers who captured 3,000 colonists before human reinforcements arrived. The incident had traumatized the entire colonial administration and led to calls for stronger defensive measures. "The protocol establishes a zero-tolerance policy for unauthorized entry into human space," Torres continued. "Any vessel entering our territory without proper diplomatic clearance is considered a potential threat and is eliminated by automated defense systems." "Eliminated? Admiral, you're talking about murder. These were explorers, diplomats, scientists." "Alina, I know how it sounds, but the protocol was designed to protect human lives. We've had too many incidents with aggressive species using exploration and diplomacy as covers for reconnaissance and raiding operations." Alina felt sick. "How many ships, Admiral? How many people have we killed?" The automated systems have engaged 47 vessels over the past 5 years. The 5 incidents the Council mentioned are just the ones they know about because those species had the political influence to demand answers. 47 ships, ... Double quote Selena sat down heavily. Admiral, we're talking about potential acts of war against dozens of species. When this information comes out, humanity will face more than economic isolation. We'll be looking at military retaliation from half the galaxy. That's why the protocol exists. Alina, our defensive systems are more advanced than most species realize. If they want to test our resolve, they'll discover that human space is better protected than they imagined. You're talking about genocide, Admiral. These automated systems are killing people without any human oversight or judgment. The systems are programmed with extensive first contact protocols. Any vessel that responds to identification requests, transmits peaceful intentions, or requests diplomatic escort is handled through normal channels. Only ships that ignore all communications and continue aggressive approaches are eliminated. Alina considered this information. It was possible that the missing vessels had indeed ignored proper protocols or shown hostile intent. However, the complete absence of any records or debris suggested something more sophisticated than simple defensive action. Admiral, I need complete records of all 47 incidents. If I'm going to represent humanity to the Council, I need to understand exactly what we're dealing with. I'll transmit the classified files to your secure systems within the hour. Alina, I want you to understand something important. The perimeter protocol isn't just about defense. It's about deterrence. When word spreads through the galaxy that human space is absolutely protected, aggressive species will think twice before testing our boundaries, and peaceful species will think twice about attempting legitimate contact, Alina replied. Admiral, we may have created the most effective defensive system in the galaxy, but we've also made ourselves into the monsters that everyone fears. After ending the transmission, Alina stood again at the viewing port, but now the swirling nebula seemed less beautiful and more ominous. Somewhere beyond that cosmic barrier, automated systems waited in silent vigilance, ready to eliminate any vessel that dared cross into human territory without permission. Marcus approached with a datapad containing the first classified files from Admiral Torres. Ambassador, these records. Some of these ships were carrying families, children, refugees seeking safe passage. The automated systems didn't discriminate. Alina took the pad and began reading. Each file detailed a vessel that had entered human space and been eliminated by defensive protocols. Some ships had indeed shown aggressive behavior or ignored communication attempts. Others appeared to have been genuine exploration or diplomatic missions that had simply failed to follow proper first contact procedures. The problem isn't just what we've done, Marcus. The problem is that we've created a system that makes peaceful contact almost impossible. Any species that doesn't know our exact protocols will be eliminated before they can learn them. What are you going to tell the Council? Alina watched a human patrol ship drift past the station, its sleek hull reflecting the nebula's light. That ship represented the best of human technology and determination, but it was also part of a defensive network that had killed hundreds of sentient beings without trial or judgment. I'm going to tell them the truth, Marcus. All of it, if humanity is going to be part of the galactic community. We need to find a way to protect our people without becoming the very threat we're defending against. And if the Council decides that humanity is too dangerous to coexist with, Alina continued watching the patrol ship until it disappeared into the nebula's swirling depths. Then we'll discover whether our defensive systems are as effective as Admiral Torres believes they are. The reckoning, 2 weeks later, Alina stood in the main assembly hall of Harmony Prime, the massive neutral station that served as the headquarters for the Interstellar Collective Council. Representatives from 43 different species filled the amphitheater-like chamber, their diverse forms creating a tapestry of galactic civilization that never failed to inspire her. Today, however, their unified attention felt more like the focus of a tribunal than a diplomatic gathering. Council Arbiter Veltar occupied the central platform, his crystalline form now pulsing with steady, controlled light that indicated formal authority. Around him sat the primary representatives of the 5 species that had lost vessels in human space: the ethereal Altabarians, the insectoid Thessarians, the mechanical Nyx Hegemony, the energy-based Crystalline Syndicate, and the nomadic Star Wanderers. Ambassador Vasquez, Veltar's harmonic voice carried easily through the chamber's acoustics. You have requested this emergency session to address the disappearances of vessels near human territory. The Council is prepared to hear your explanation. Alina activated her presentation system, displaying a holographic map of human space and the surrounding regions. Red markers indicated the locations where alien vessels had vanished, forming a clear pattern around humanity's territorial boundaries. Honored representatives, I stand before you today to provide full transparency regarding the incidents in question. What I am about to reveal has been classified at the highest levels of human government, but the gravity of this situation demands complete honesty. She took a deep breath, knowing that her next words would forever change humanity's relationship with the galactic community. 15 years ago, following a tragic incident where raiders disguised as diplomats enslaved 3,000 human colonists, my government implemented what we call the Perimeter Protocol. The chamber stirred with murmurs as representatives absorbed this information. Alina continued, "This protocol establishes automated defense systems throughout human space, designed to intercept and evaluate any vessel entering our territory without proper diplomatic clearance." Representative Zixal of the Thessarian Trade Federation, a being resembling a massive praying mantis with iridescent wings, clicked his mandibles in agitation. "Ambassador, are you confirming that human systems have been destroying vessels attempting peaceful contact?" "The automated systems are programmed with extensive first contact protocols," Alina replied carefully. "Any vessel that responds to identification requests, transmits peaceful intentions, or requests diplomatic escort is processed through normal diplomatic channels. However, ships that ignore all communications and continue approaching human territory are classified as potential threats." High Counselor Nex 9 of the Hegemony, whose mechanical form sparked with electrical energy, interrupted with a harsh electronic voice. "Define processed, Ambassador. Our records indicate that the merchant vessel profit margin transmitted standard trade requests before disappearing near your Wolf 359 system." Alina consulted her datapad, feeling the weight of 43 species' attention. "According to our records, the profit margin entered human space without using proper diplomatic channels, ignored 16 hours of continuous identification, requests in 47 different languages, and continued approaching our mining installations despite clear territorial warnings. The crew may not have been familiar with human protocols," interjected Whisper of Stars, the ethereal representative of the Star Wanderers. "Our nomadic fleets often rely on universal translation systems that may not include all human languages, which is precisely why we are here today," Alina said. The perimeter protocol was designed to protect human colonies from raiders and slavers, but it has also created barriers to legitimate contact. We recognize that our defensive measures have been overly aggressive. The chamber erupted in a cacophony of alien languages as representatives discussed this admission among themselves. Alina waited for order to be restored, knowing that the hardest part of her revelation was still to come. "Ambassador," Veltar said, once quiet returned, "you speak of defensive measures, but our investigations indicate complete elimination of vessels and crews. No distress signals, no debris fields, no survivors. This suggests weapons technology far beyond typical defensive systems." Alina nodded grimly. "The automated defense network utilizes advanced quantum disintegration technology. When a vessel is classified as hostile and all peaceful resolution attempts fail, it is completely eliminated to prevent any intelligence from falling into enemy hands." The silence that followed was profound. 43 species processed the implications of humanity possessing weapons that could utterly destroy vessels without leaving any trace. The balance of power in the galaxy had just shifted dramatically. War Master Krexter of the militant Krex Empire, a massive reptilian being with battle scars covering his scaled hide, rose to his full imposing height. "So humans admit to possessing planet-killer weapons and using them against peaceful vessels. This is an act of war against the galactic community. The technology is defensive in nature," Alina replied, though she knew how weak that sounded. "It's designed to protect human territory, not to threaten other species. Any technology that can eliminate vessels without trace can be used offensively." Krexter growled. "The Krex Empire will not accept the existence of such weapons in human hands. We demand immediate disarmament and supervision of human defensive systems." Several other representatives voiced similar demands, and Alina realized that her revelation had backfired catastrophically. Instead of generating understanding, she had convinced the galaxy that humanity posed an existential threat. The human response is unacceptable, Veltar announced, his crystalline form now blazing with authority. "The Council demands immediate cessation of all automated defensive systems and submission to galactic oversight of human military capabilities." Alina felt the diplomatic situation spiraling beyond recovery. "Honored Arbiter, humanity cannot disarm our defensive systems while hostile forces like raiders and slavers operate in this region of space. We've offered to establish proper diplomatic channels and modify our protocols to prevent future incidents." "Insufficient, War Master," Krexter declared. "The Krex Empire has decided that humanity represents a clear threat to galactic stability. If you will not disarm voluntarily, we will disarm you by force." The chamber erupted again as species took sides in the rapidly escalating crisis. Some supported the call for human disarmament. Others argued for diplomatic solutions. And a few suggested that humanity's defensive capabilities might actually benefit galactic security if properly regulated. Alina activated her emergency communicator. "To contact Meridian Station, Commander Chen, I need immediate contact with Admiral Torres. The situation has deteriorated beyond diplomatic resolution." Within minutes, Admiral Torres appeared via holographic projection in the council chamber. His presence caused another stir as representatives realized they were looking at the architect of humanity's defensive systems. "Council members," Torres said without preamble, "I've been monitoring these proceedings. Let me be clear, humanity will not disarm our defensive systems or submit to external oversight of our military capabilities. We are willing to establish proper diplomatic protocols and modify our automated responses. But our core defensive posture is non-negotiable. War Master Krexter laughed, a sound like grinding metal. Admiral, you speak boldly for someone whose species numbers barely 2 billion across a dozen systems. The Krex Empire alone commands a fleet of 50,000 warships. Your defensive systems cannot protect you from the combined might of the galactic community. Torres's expression didn't change. War Master, I suggest you review the data about our defensive capabilities before making threats. The automated systems that eliminated those 47 vessels over the past 5 years represent only the outermost layer of human defensive technology. Are you threatening the Council? Veltar demanded. I'm stating facts, Torres replied. Humanity desires peaceful coexistence with all galactic species, but we will not be bullied or invaded. Any military force entering human space without authorization will be eliminated, regardless of size or origin. Krexter's eyes blazed with fury. Admiral, the Krex Empire accepts your challenge. We will demonstrate to this council that human arrogance exceeds human capability. Within 3 days, a Krex battle fleet will test your defensive systems. When your automated toys fail to stop real warriors, humanity will submit to proper supervision. Alina felt everything collapsing around her. War Master, please reconsider. Military action will only lead to unnecessary deaths on both sides. The only deaths will be human, Krexter snarled. The galaxy will see that these mysterious defensive systems are nothing more than propaganda and fear tactics. Admiral Torres leaned forward. War Master, I urge you to reconsider. Our defensive protocols make no distinction based on the size or composition of attacking forces. Any unauthorized military incursion will face the same fate as those 47 vessels. We shall see, Admiral. 3 days. The council session ended in chaos as species aligned themselves for what appeared to be an inevitable conflict. Elena remained in the chamber long after most representatives had departed, staring at the holographic display showing the positions of human territory and the massive Krex fleet assembling at the border. Commander Chen approached from where he had been monitoring communications. Ambassador, I've received word that War Master Krexter is assembling a force of over 300 warships, the largest Krex battle fleet ever assembled. Alina closed her eyes. And Admiral Torres is really going to let them enter human space and be destroyed by our automated systems. According to the Admiral's latest transmission, the perimeter protocol cannot be selectively disabled. Any military force entering human territory without proper authorization will trigger the automated response. 300 ships, Marcus, thousands of crew members. This is going to be a massacre. 2 days later, Alina watched from Harmony, Prime's observation deck, as the massive Krex battle fleet approached the edge of human space. 300 warships in perfect formation, their hulls bristling with weapons and their shields glowing with contained energy. It was the most impressive display of military might she had ever witnessed. Representatives from dozens of species had gathered to observe what they expected to be humanity's humiliation. Many had brought recording equipment to document the failure of human defensive systems and the subsequent invasion of human territory. Attention human forces, War Master Krexter's voice boomed across all communication frequencies. The Krex Empire hereby demands passage through your space to establish observation posts and monitoring stations. Comply immediately or face the consequences. Alina waited for some response from human forces, but the space around the battle fleet remained empty. No human ships appeared to intercept or communicate with the Krex force. It was as if humanity was simply ignoring the massive military threat approaching their border. No response from human forces, reported one of the observation technicians. The Krek's fleet is crossing into human territory now. Alina watched the tactical displays as 300 red dots representing Krek's warships crossed the invisible line marking human space. For several minutes, nothing happened. The fleet continued its advance toward the nearest human colony system, their confidence growing with each passing moment. Perhaps the human defensive systems are mythical after all, commented Representative 6 Hal. No automated defenses have appeared. Then, without warning or fanfare, the 300 red dots simply vanished from the tactical display. The observation deck fell into stunned silence. Alina stared at the empty space where moments before the most powerful battle fleet in Krek's history had been advancing in perfect formation. "Sensor malfunction," whispered someone. "The displays must be malfunctioning," but backup sensors confirmed the impossible truth. 300 warships, carrying over 50,000 Krek's warriors, had been eliminated in less than 30 seconds. No explosions, no debris fields, no distress signals. They had simply ceased to exist. Veltar's crystalline form pulsed with shock. What happened to the Krek's fleet? Admiral Torres appeared via hologram on the observation deck, his expression grim but unspoken. The automated defense network performed exactly as designed. The Krek's fleet was identified as a hostile military force and eliminated according to established protocols. 50,000 beings, Alina whispered, gone in seconds. The Krek's empire chose to test our defensive capabilities despite clear warnings, Torres replied. Humanity takes no pleasure in these deaths, but we will not apologize for defending our territory. The representatives stood in shock, finally understanding the true nature of human defensive technology. This wasn't just advanced weaponry, it was something that could eliminate entire fleets without any visible mechanism or trace. Asterisk. The galactic community needs time to process what has occurred here, Veltar announced, his voice subdued. This session is adjourned pending further deliberations. As species representatives filed out in stunned silence, Alina remained at the observation deck, staring at the empty space where 300 warships had vanished. The galaxy had just learned that humanity's defensive capabilities exceeded their wildest nightmares. Commander Chen approached quietly. "Ambassador, we're receiving communication requests from over 20 species. They all want to establish formal diplomatic relations and proper first contact protocols." Alina nodded absently. "And the others?" "The others are requesting information about establishing buffer zones around human space. No one wants to accidentally trigger the automated defenses." 3 months later, Alina stood once again at Meridian Station's viewing port, but now the scene beyond was different. Clearly marked navigation beacons dotted the space around human territory. Established by joint agreement between humanity and the Interstellar Collective Council, proper diplomatic channels had been created, with translation protocols and identification. Procedures that made accidental incursions virtually impossible. The perimeter protocol still operated, but now it was augmented by extensive first contact procedures that gave peaceful vessels every opportunity to identify themselves and request proper diplomatic escort. The buffer zones established by the Council ensured that only vessels with legitimate business approached human territory. "Status report, Commander," Alina asked as Marcus approached with the daily briefings. "All quiet, Ambassador. We've processed 47 diplomatic contact requests this month. including trade delegations from the Crystalline Syndicate and a scientific exchange program with the Altarian Collective. No unauthorized incursions, no defensive system activations. Alina smiled. And the Krex Empire? They've established a new government and requested formal diplomatic relations. Apparently, the elimination of their battle fleet convinced them that military conquest of human space is ... inadvisable. The galaxy had learned to coexist with humanity's silent boundary. The automated defenses still waited in the void, ready to eliminate any threat to human territory. But now they were balanced by diplomatic protocols that made peaceful contact possible. Alina watched a mixed convoy of human and alien vessels pass through the diplomatic corridor, carrying trade goods and cultural exchanges between species that had once viewed each other with suspicion and fear. The silent boundary remained invisible, but absolute, protecting human space from those who would do harm. But beyond that boundary, the galaxy had learned that humanity was willing to be part of the greater community as long as everyone understood the rules.